Act 1, Scene 2 from The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. Scene 2. Belmont. A room in Portia's house. Enter Portia and Nerissa.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is a-weary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer.
Good sentences, and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done, than to be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. Such a hare is madness in the youth, to skip o'er the meshes of good counsel the cripple. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh me, the word choose! I may neither choose who I would, nor refuse who I dislike. So is the will of the living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one, nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore the lottery that he has devised in these 3 chests, of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly but one who you shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and, according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Ay, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts, that he can shoe him himself. I am much afeard my lady his mother played false with a smith.
Then is there the county palatine.
He doth nothing but frown, as who should say, "An you will not have me, choose." He hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these 2.
How say you by the French lord, Monsieur le Bon?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he, why, he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him, for if he love me to madness, I shall never requite him.
What say you then to Faulconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian. And you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. He is a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited! I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behaviour everywhere.
What think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbour?
That he hath a neighbourly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman, and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety, and sealed under for another.
How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning, when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon, when he is drunk. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is little better than a beast. And the worst fall that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him.
If he should offer to choose, and choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket, for if the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge."
You need not fear, lady, the having of any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home, and to trouble you with no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
"If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure."
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier, that came hither in company of the Marquis of Montferrat?
"Yes, yes, it was Bassanio, as I think, so was he called?"
True, madam. He, of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving a fair lady.
"I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise."
Enter a servant.
"How now? What news?"
The 4 strangers seek for ye, madam, to take their leave, and there is a forerunner come from a 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince his master will be here to-night."
"If I could bid the 5th welcome with so good heart as I can bid the other 4 farewell, I should be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I had rather he should shrive me than wive me. Come, Nerissa, Sirrah, go before. Whiles we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door."
Exeunt. End of Act 1, Scene 2 from The Merchant of Venice. Act 3, Scene 2 of The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. Belmont. A room in Portia's house. Enter Bassanio, Portia, Gratiano, Nerissa, and attendants.
I pray you, tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for, in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. There's something tells me, but it is not love, I would not lose you, and you know yourself hate counsels not in such a quality. But lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right, but then I am forsworn. So will I never be, so may you miss me. But if you do, you'll make me wish a sin, that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes, they have overlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours, mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, and so all yours. Oh, these naughty times puts bars between the owners and their rights, and so, though yours, not yours. Prove it so, let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long, but 'tis to pace the time, to eke it, and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack.
Upon the rack, Bassanio? Then confess what treason there is mingled with your love.
None but that ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity and life 'tween snow and fire as treason and my love.
Ay, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men enforced do speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Well then, confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. O happy torment, when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance! But let me to my fortune and the caskets.
Away then, I am locked in one of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Nerissa and the rest stand all aloof. Let music sound while he doth make his choice. Then, if he lose, he makes a swan-like end, fading in music. That the comparison may stand more proper, my eye shall be the stream and watery death-bed for him. He may win, and what is music then? Then music is even as the flourish when true subjects bow to a new-crowned monarch. Such it is as are those dulcet sounds in break of day that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. Now he goes, with no less presence but with much more love than young Alcides when he did redeem the virgin tribute paid by howling Troy to the sea monster. I stand for sacrifice. The rest aloof are the Dardanian wives, with bleared visages come forth to view the issue of the exploit. Go, Hercules! Live thou, I live. With much, much more dismay I view the fight than thou that mak'st the fray.
A song, whilst Bassanio comments on the caskets to himself.
Tell me where is fancy bred, or in the heart, or in the head? How begot, how nourished? Reply, reply. It is engendered in the eyes, with gazing fed and fancied eyes, in the cradle where it lies. Let us all ring fancy's knell. I'll begin it, ding dong bell.
Ding dong bell.
So may the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice, obscures the show of evil? In religion, what damned error but some sober brow will bless it, and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament? There is no vice so simple but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. How many cowards, whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand, wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars, who, inward searched, have livers white as milk, and these assume but valour's excrement to render them redoubted. Look on beauty, and you shall see 'tis purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. So are those crisped snaky golden locks, which make such wanton gambols with the wind, upon supposed fairness often known to be the dowry of a second head, the skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Thus ornament is but the guiled shore to a most dangerous sea, the beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty; in a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee, nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge 'tween man and man. But thou, thou meagre lead, which rather threatenest than dost promise aught, thy plainness moves me more than eloquence, and here choose I. Joy be the consequence.
Aside.
How all the other passions fleet to air As doubtful thoughts, and rash embrace despair, And shuddering fear, and green eyed jealousy! O love, be moderate! Allay thy ecstasy, in measure rein thy joy. Scant this excess, I feel too much thy blessing; Make it less, for fear I surfeit.
What find I here?
Opening the leaden casket.
Fair Portia's counterfeit? What demi‐god hath come so near creation, moved these eyes, or whether riding on the balls of mine seem they in motion? Here are severed lips, parted with sugar breath; so sweet a bar should sunder such sweet friends. Here in her hairs the painter plays the spider, and hath woven a golden mesh to entrap the hearts of men faster than gnats in cobwebs. But her eyes, how could he see to do them? Having made one, methinks it should have power to steal both his, and leave itself unfurnished. Yet look how far the substance of my praise doth wrong this shadow in underprizing it. So far this shadow doth limp behind the substance. Here's the scroll, the continent and summary of my fortune. You that choose not by the view, chance as fair and choose as true. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this, and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn to where your lady is, and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll. Fair lady, by your leave.
Kissing her.
I come by note to give and to receive, like one of two contending in a prize, that thinks he hath done well in people's eyes, hearing applause and universal shout, giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt, whether those peals of praise be his or no. So thrice, fair lady, stand I even so, as doubtful whether what I see be true, until confirmed, signed, ratified by you.
You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Though for myself alone I would not be ambitious in my wish, to wish myself much better, yet for you I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, that only to stand high in your account I might in virtues, beauties, livings, friends exceed account. But the full sum of me is sum of something which, to term in gross, is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpractised. Happy in this, she is not yet so old but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen over myself. And even now, but now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord's. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. Only my blood speaks to you in my veins, and there is such confusion in my powers, as after some oration fairly spoke by a beloved prince, there doth appear among the buzzing pleased multitude, where every something, being blent together, turns to a wild of nothing save of joy, expressed and not expressed. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence. How then be bold to say Bassanio's dead?
My lord and lady, it is now our time, that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper, to cry good joy, my lord and lady.
My Lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish, for I am sure you can wish none from me. And when your honours mean to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, even at that time, I may be married too.
With all my heart, so thou canst get a wife.
I thank your lordship. You have got me one. My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. You saw the mistress. I beheld the maid. You loved, I loved. For intermission no more pertains to me, my lord, than you. Your fortune stood upon the caskets there, and so did mine too, as the matter falls. For wooing here until I sweat again, and swearing till my very roof was dry, with oaths of love at last, if promise last, I got a promise of this fair one here to have her love, provided that your fortune achieved her mistress.
Is this true, Nerissa?
Madame, it is, so you stand pleased withal.
And do you, Gratiano, mean good faith?
Yes, faith, my lord.
Our feast shall be much honoured in your marriage.
We'll play with them the first boy for 1,000 ducats.
What, and stake down?
No, we shall never win at that sport, and stake down. End of Act 3, Scene 2, from The Merchant of Venice.
Act 2, Scene 1. From A Midsummer Night's Dream, by William Shakespeare. Act 2, Scene 1. A wood near Athens. Enter a fairy at one door and Puck at another.
How now, spirit? Whither wander you?
Over hill, over dale, through bush, through briar, over park, over pale, through flood, through fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's sphere, and I serve the fairy queen to do her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be, in their gold coats spots you see. Those be rubies, fairy favours, in those freckles live their savours. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou lob of spirits, I'll be gone. Our queen and all her elves come here anon.
The king doth keep his revels here tonight. Take heed the queen come not within his sight, for Oberon is passing fell and wroth, because that she as her attendant hath a lovely boy, stolen from an Indian king. She never had so sweet a changeling. And jealous Oberon would have the child, knight of his train, to trace the forests wild, but she perforce withholds the loved boy, crowns him with flowers, and makes him all her joy. And now they never meet in grove or green, by fountain clear or spangled starlight sheen, but they do square, that all their elves for fear creep into acorn cups, and hide them there.
Either I mistake your shape and making quite, or else you are that shrewd and knavish sprite called Robin Goodfellow. Are not you he that frights the maidens of the villagery, skim milk, and sometimes labour in the quern, and bootless make the breathless housewife churn, and sometimes make the drink to bear no balm, mislead night wanderers, laughing at their harm? Those that hobgoblin call you, and sweet Puck. You do their work, and they shall have good luck. Are not you he?
Thou speak'st aright. I am that merry wanderer of the night. I jest to Oberon, and make him smile, when I a fat and bean-fed horse beguile, neighing in likeness of a filly foal. And sometimes lurk I in a gossip's bowl, in very likeness of a roasted crab. And when she drinks, against her lips I bob, and on her withered dewlap pour the ale. The wisest aunt, telling the saddest tale, sometime for 3-foot stool mistaketh me. Then slip I from her bum, down topples she, and Tailor cries, and falls into a cough. And then the whole choir hold their hips and laugh, and waxen in their mirth, and neeze, and swear a merrier hour was never wasted there. But room, fairy, here comes Oberon.
And here my mistress. Would that he were gone. Enter Oberon at one door with his train, and Titania at another with hers.
Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
What, jealous Oberon? Fairies, skip hence. I have forsworn his bed and company.
Tarry, rash wanton. Am not I thy lord?
Then I must be thy lady. But I know, when thou hast stolen away from fairyland, and, in the shape of Corin sat all day, playing on pipes of corn and versing love to amorous Phillida, why art thou here, come from the furthest steep of India, but that forsooth the bouncing Amazon, your buskined mistress and your warrior love, to Theseus must be wedded, and you come to give their bed joy and prosperity.
How canst thou thus, for shame, Titania, glance at my credit with Hippolyta, knowing, I know, thy love to Theseus? Didst not thou lead him through the glimmering night from Periginia, whom he ravished, and make him with fair Eagle break his faith with Ariadne and Antiope?
These are the forgeries of jealousy, and never since the middle summer's spring met we on hill, in dale, forest, or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or on the beached margent of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind, but with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain, as in revenge, have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land hath every pelting river made so proud that they have overborne their continents. The ox hath therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the ploughman lost his sweat, and the green corn hath rotted ere his youth attained a beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted with the murrian flock. The nine men's morris is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green for lack of tread are indistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter here, no night is now with hymn or carol blessed. Therefore the moon, the governess of floods, pale in her anger washes all the air, that rheumatic diseases do abound. And thorough this distemperature, we see the seasons alter, hoary-headed frosts fall in the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and on old Hyam's thin and icy crown an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is as in mockery set. The spring, the summer, the childing autumn, angry winter, change their wonted liveries, and the mazed world, by their increase, now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original.
Do you amend it then? It lies in you. Why should Titania cross her Oberon? I do but beg a little changeling boy to be my henchman.
Set your heart at rest. The fairyland buys not the child of me. His mother was a votress of my order, and in the spiced Indian air by night full often hath she gossiped by my side, and sat with me on Neptune's yellow sands, marking the embarked traders on the flood, when we have laughed to see the sails conceive, and grow big-bellied in the wanton wind, which she, with pretty and with swimming gait following, her womb then rich with my young squire, would imitate and sail upon the land to fetch me trifles and return again as from a voyage, rich with merchandise. But she, being mortal, of that boy did die, and for her sake do I rear up her boy, and for her sake I will not part with him.
How long within this wood intend you stay?
Perchance till after Theseus's wedding day. If you will patiently dance in our round, and see our moonlight revels, go with us. If not, shun me, and I will spare your haunts.
Give me that boy, and I will go with thee.
Not for thy fairy kingdom. Fairies, away! We shall chide downright if I longer stay.
Exit Titania with her train.
Well, go thy way. Thou shalt not from this grove till I torment thee for this injury. My gentle Puck, come hither. Thou rememberest since once I sat upon a promontory and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath that the rude sea grew sibyl at her song, and certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music?
I remember.
That very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth, Cupid, all armed. A certain aim he took at a fair vestal, throned by the west, and loosed his love shaft smartly from his bow, as it should pierce 100,000 hearts. But I might see young Cupid's fiery shaft quenched in the chaste beams of the watery moon, and the imperial votaress passed on in maiden meditation, fancy free. Yet marked I where the bolt of Cupid fell. It fell upon a little western flower, before milk white, now purple with love's wound, and maidens call it love in idleness. Fetch me that flower, the herb I showed thee once. The juice of it on sleeping eyelids laid will make or man or woman madly dote upon the next live creature that it sees. Fetch me this herb, and be thou here again ere the Leviathan can swim a league.
I'll put a girdle round about the earth in 40 minutes.
Exit Puck.
Having once this juice, I'll watch Titania when she is asleep, and drop the liquor of it in her eyes. The next thing then she waking looks upon, be it on lion, bear, or wolf, or bull, or meddling monkey, or on busy ape, she shall pursue it with the soul of love. And ere I take this charm from off her sight, as I can take it with another herb, I'll make her render up her page to me.
End of Act 2, Scene 1. From A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Act 3, Scene 2. From A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Enter Lysander and Helena.
Why should you think that I should woo in scorn? Scorn and derision never come in tears. Look, when I vow, I weep, and vows so born in their nativity all truth appears. How can these things in me seem scorn to you, bearing the badge of faith to prove them true?
You do advance your cunning more and more, when truth kills truth, O devilish holy fray! These vows are Hermia's, will you give her o'er? Weigh oath with oath, and you will nothing weigh. Your vows to her and me, put in 2 scales, will even weigh, and both as light as tails.
I had no judgment when to her I swore.
Nor none in my mind, now you give her o'er.
Demetrius loves her, and he loves not you.
Awaking. O Helen, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine! To what, my love, shall I compare thine eyne? Crystal is muddy. Oh, how ripen show thy lips! Those kissing cherries tempting grow. That pure congealed white, high Taurus snow, fanned with the eastern wind, turns to a crow when thou hold'st up thy hand. Oh, let me kiss this princess of pure white, this seal of bliss.
O spite! O hell! I see you all are bent to set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and knew courtesy, you would not do me thus much injury. Can you not hate me, as I know you do, but you must join in souls to mock me too? If you were men, as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so. To vow and swear and superpraise my parts, when I am sure you hate me with your hearts. You both are rivals, and love Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena. A trim exploit, a manly enterprise, to conjure tears up in a poor maid's eyes, with your derision. None of noble sort would so offend a virgin and extort a poor soul's patience, all to make you sport.
You are unkind, Demetrius, be not so. For you love Hermia, this you know, I know. And here with all good will, with all my heart, in Hermia's love I yield you up my part, and yours of Helena to me bequeath, whom I do love, and will do till my death.
Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep thy Hermia, I will none. If e'er I loved her, all that love is gone. My heart to her but as guestwise sojourned, and now to Helen is it home returned, there to remain.
Helen, it is not so.
Disparage not the faith thou dost not know, lest to thy peril thou buy it dear. Look where thy love comes, yonder is thy dear. Enter Hermia.
Dark night that from the eye his function takes, the ear more quick of apprehension makes. Wherein it does impair the seeing sense, It pays the hearing double recompense. Thou art not by mine eye, Lysander, found; mine ear, I thank it, brought me to thy sound. But why unkindly didst thou leave me so?
Why should he stay whom love doth press to go?
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love, that would not let him bide fair Helena, who more engilds the night than all yon fiery O's and eyes of light. Why seek'st thou me? Could not this make thee know the hate I bear thee made me leave thee so?
You speak not as you think. It cannot be.
Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid! Have you conspired, have you with these contrived, to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent, when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us, oh, is all forgot? All school-days friendship, childhood innocence? We, Hermia, like two artificial gods, have with our needles created both one flower, both on one sampler, sitting on one cushion, both warbling of one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate. So we grew together, like to a double cherry, seeming parted, but yet a union in partition, two lovely berries moulded on one stem. So with two seeming bodies but one heart, two of the first, like coats in heraldry, due but to one, and crowned with one crest. And will you rent our ancient love asunder, to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly, 'tis not maidenly. Our sex, as well as I, may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not. It seems that you scorn me.
Have you not set Lysander, as in scorn, to follow me and praise my eyes and face? And made your other love, Demetrius, who even but now did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph, divine and rare, precious, celestial? Wherefore speaks he this to her he hates? And wherefore doth Lysander deny your love, so rich within his soul, and tender me, forsooth, affection, but by your setting on, by your consent? What, though I be not so in grace as you, so hung upon with love, so fortunate, but miserable most, to love unloved? This you should pity rather than despise.
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do persevere, counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink at each other, hold the sweet jest up. This sport, well carried, shall be chronicled. If you have any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument. But fare ye well, 'tis partly my own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Stay, gentle Helena, hear my excuse, my love, my life, my soul, fair Helena.
Oh, excellent!
Sweet, do not scorn her so.
If she cannot entreat, I can compel.
Thou canst compel no more than she entreat. Thy threats have no more strength than her weak prayers. Helen, I love thee, by my life I do. I swear by that which I will lose for thee, to prove him false that says I love thee not.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou say so, withdraw, and prove it too.
Quick, come.
Lysander, whereto tends all this?
Away, you Ethiop!
No, no, sir. He will seem to break loose, take on as you would follow, but yet not come. You're a tame man. Go.
Hang off, thou cat, thou bird, vile thing, let loose, or I will shake thee from me like a serpent.
Why are you grown so rude? What change is this, sweet love?
Thy love, out tawny Tartar, out, out, loathed medicine, hated potion, hence!
Do you not jest?
Yes, sooth, and so do you.
Demetrius, I will keep my word with thee.
I would I had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What? Should I hurt her, strike her, kill her dead? Although I hate her, I'll not harm her so.
What? Can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me, wherefore? Oh me! What news, my love? Am I not Hermia? Are not you Lysander? I am as fair now as I was erewhile. Since night you loved me, yet since night you left me. Why then, you left me? Oh, the gods forbid! In earnest, shall I say?
Ay, by my life, and never did desire to see thee more. Therefore be out of hope, of question, doubt, be certain, nothing truer, 'tis no jest, that I do hate thee, and love Helena.
Oh me, you juggler, you canker blossom, you thief of love! What! Have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him?
Fine, i'faith. Have you no modesty, no maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What, will you tear impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Fie, fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you!
Puppet! Why so? Ay, that way goes the game. Now I perceive that she hath made compare between our statures. She hath urged her height, and with her personage, her tall personage, her height forsooth, she hath prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted Maypole? Speak! How low am I? I am not yet so low but that my nails can reach unto thine eyes.
I pray you, though you mock me, gentlemen, let her not hurt me. I was never cursed. I have no gift at all in shrewishness. I am a right maid for my cowardice. Let her not strike me. You perhaps may think, because she is something lower than myself, that I can match her.
Lower! Hark again!
Good Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you, Hermia, did ever keep your counsels, never wronged you, save that, in love unto Demetrius, I told him of your stealth unto this wood. He followed you, for love I followed him. But he hath chid me hence, and threatened me to strike me, spurn me, nay, to kill me too. And now, so you will let me quiet go, to Athens will I bear my folly back, and follow you no further. Let me go. You see how simple and how fond I am.
Why get you gone? Who is it that hinders you?
A foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What, with Lysander?
With Demetrius.
Be not afraid, she shall not harm thee, Helena.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
Oh, when she's angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school, and, though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little again, nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her.
Get you gone, you dwarf, you minimus of hindering not grass maid, you beak, you acorn!
You are too officious in her behalf that scorns your services. Let her alone. Speak not of Helena, take not her part. For if thou dost intend never so little show of love to her, thou shalt abye it.
Now she holds me not. Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right, of thine or mine, is most in Helena.
Follow? Nay, I'll go with thee, cheek by jowl. Exeunt Lysander and Demetrius.
You, mistress, all this coil is long of you. Nay, go not back.
I will not trust you, nor longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands than mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away.
Exit.
I am amazed, and know not what to say.
Exit, pursuing Helena. End of Act 3, Scene 2, from A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Act 4, Scene 1, from Much Ado About Nothing, by William Shakespeare.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear by it and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offence, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ha! Not for the wide world.
Ugh! You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is a not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonoured my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man! What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancour. O God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window? A proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone. Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valour into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure is I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
Exeunt. End of Act 4, Scene 1, from Much Ado About Nothing. Act 3, Scene 3, from Othello, by William Shakespeare. Enter Othello and Iago.
Ha! I like not that.
What dost thou say?
Nothing, my lord. Or, if I know not what.
Was not that Cassio parted from my wife?
Cassio, my lord? No, sure, I cannot think it, that he would steal away so guilty-like, seeing you coming.
I do believe 'twas he.
How now, my lord? I have been talking with a suitor here, a man that languishes in your displeasure.
Who is't you mean?
Why, your Lieutenant Cassio. Good my lord, if I have any grace or power to move you, his present reconciliation take. For if he be not one that truly loves you, that errs in ignorance and not in cunning, I have no judgment in an honest face. I prithee, call him back.
Went he hence now?
Ay, sooth, so humbled that he hath left part of his grief with me to suffer with him. Good love, call him back.
Not now, sweet Desdemon, some other time.
But shall it be shortly?
The sooner sweet for you.
Shall it be to-night at supper?
No, not to-night.
To-morrow dinner, then?
I shall not dine at home. I meet the captains at the citadel.
Why, then, to-morrow night, or Tuesday morn, or Tuesday noon or night, on Wednesday morn. I prithee name the time, but let it not exceed 3 days. In faith he's penitent, and yet his trespass in our common reason, save that they say the wars must make examples out of their best, is not almost a fault to incur a private check. When shall he come? Tell me, Othello, I wonder in my soul what you would ask me, that I should deny or stand so mammering on. What, Michael Cassio, that came a-wooing with you, and so many a time, when I have spoke of you dispraisingly, hath ta'en your part, to have so much to do to bring him in? Trust me, I could do much.
Prithee, no more. Let him come when he will. I will deny thee nothing.
Why, this is not a boon. 'Tis as I should entreat you wear your gloves, or feed on nourishing dishes, or keep you warm, or sue to you to do a peculiar profit to your own person. Nay, when I have a suit wherein I mean to touch your love indeed, it shall be full of poise and difficult weight, and fearful to be granted.
I will deny thee nothing. Whereon I do beseech thee, grant me this, to leave me but a little to myself.
Shall I deny you? No. Farewell, my lord.
Farewell, my Desdemona. I'll come to thee straight.
Emilia, come. Be as your fancies teach you. Whate'er you be, I am obedient.
Exit with Emilia.
Excellent wretch! Perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee, and when I love thee not, chaos is come again.
My noble lord,
What dost thou say, Iago?
did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love?
He did, from first to last. Why dost thou ask?
Oh, but for a satisfaction of my thought, no further harm.
Why of thy thought, Iago?
I did not think he had been acquainted with her.
Oh, yes, and went between us very oft.
Indeed.
Indeed. Ay, indeed. Discern'st thou aught in that? Is he not honest?
Honest, my lord?
Honest. Ay, honest.
My lord, for aught I know.
What dost thou think?
Think, my lord.
Think, my lord. Ah, by heaven, he echoes me, as if there were some monster in his thought, too hideous to be shown. Thou dost mean something. I heard thee say even now thou likest not that. When Cassio left my wife, what didst not like? And when I told thee he was of my counsel in my whole course of wooing, thou criest, Indeed! And didst contract and purse thy brow together, as if thou then hadst shut up in thy brain some horrible conceit. If thou dost love me, show me thy thought.
My lord, you know I love you.
I think thou dost. And for I know thou art full of love and honesty, and weighest thy words before thou givest them breath. Therefore these stops of thine fright me the more. For such things in a false disloyal knave are tricks of custom. But in a man that's just, they are close delations, working from the heart, that passion cannot rule.
For Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn I think that he is honest.
I think so too.
Men should be what they seem, or those that be not. would they might seem none.
Certain men should be what they seem.
Why, then, I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, yet there's more in this. I prithee speak to me as to thy thinkings, as thou dost ruminate, and give thy worst of thoughts the worst of words.
Good my lord, pardon me. Though I am bound to every act of duty, I am not bound to that all slaves are free to. Out of my thoughts, why, say they are vile and false. As where's that palace whereinto foul things sometimes intrude not? Who has a breast so pure but some uncleanly apprehensions keep leets and laudes, and in session sit with meditations lawful?
Thou dost conspire against thy friend, Iago, if thou but think'st him wronged, and mak'st his ear a stranger to thy thoughts.
I do beseech you, though I perchance am vicious in my guess, as I confess it is my nature's plague to spy into abuses, and of my jealousy shape faults that are not, that your wisdom yet from one that so imperfectly conceits would take no notice, nor build yourself a trouble out of his scattering and unsure observance. It were not for your quiet nor your good, nor for my manhood, honesty, or wisdom to let you know my thoughts.
What dost thou mean?
Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of their souls. Who steals my purse steals trash. 'Tis something, nothing. 'Twas mine, 'tis his, and has been, slave to thousands. But he that filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, and makes me poor indeed.
By heaven, I'll know thy thoughts.
You cannot, if my heart were in your hand, nor shall not whilst 'tis in my custody.
Ha!
Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. That cuckold lives in bliss, who, certain of his fate, loves not his wronger. But oh, what damned minutes tells he o'er who dotes, yet doubts, suspects, yet strongly loves.
Oh, misery!
Poor and content is rich, and rich enough. But riches fineless is as poor as winter to him that ever fears he shall be poor. Good heaven, the souls of all my tribe defend from jealousy.
Why? Why is this? Think'st thou I'd make a life of jealousy, to follow still the changes of the moon with fresh suspicions? No. To be once in doubt is once to be resolved. Exchange me for a goat, when I shall turn the business of my soul to such exsupplicate and blown surmises matching thy inference. 'Tis not to make me jealous. To say, my wife is fair, feeds well, loves company, is free of speech, sings, plays, and dances well. Where virtue is, these are more virtuous. Nor from mine own weak merits will I draw the smallest fear or doubt of her revolt. For she had eyes, and chose me. No, Iago, I'll see before I doubt, when I doubt, prove, and on the proof there is no more but this. Away at once with love or jealousy.
I am glad of it, for now I shall have reason to show the love and duty that I bear you with franker spirit. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. I speak not yet of proof. Look to your wife. Observe her well with Cassio. Wear your eye thus, not jealous, nor secure. I would not have your free and noble nature out of self-bounty be abused. Look to it. I know our country disposition well. In Venice they do let heaven see the pranks they dare not show their husbands. Their best conscience is not to leave undone, but to keep unknown.
Dost thou say so?
She did deceive her father, marrying you. And when she seemed to shake and fear your looks, she loved them most.
And so she did.
Why go to, then? She that so young could give out such a seeming to seal her father's eyes up close as oak. He thought 'twas witchcraft. But I am much to blame. I humbly do beseech you of your pardon for too much loving you.
I am bound to thee for ever.
I see this hath a little dashed your spirits.
Not a jot, not a jot.
Trust me, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love, but I do see you are moved. I am to pray you not to strain my speech to grosser issues, nor to larger reach than to suspicion.
I will not.
Should you do so, my lord, my speech should fall into such vile success which my thoughts aimed not. Cassio's my worthy friend. My lord, I see you're moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think but Desdemona's honest.
Long live she so, and long live you to think so.
And yet, how nature erring from itself.
Ay, there's the point. As, to be bold with you, not to affect many proposed matches of her own clime, complexion, and degree, whereto we see in all things nature tends. For one may smell in such a will most rank, foul disproportion, thoughts unnatural. But pardon me, I do not in position distinctly speak of her, though I may fear her will, recoiling to her better judgment, may fall to match you with her country forms, and happily repent.
Farewell, farewell. If more thou dost perceive, let me know more. Set on thy wife to observe. Leave me, Iago.
Going.
My lord, I take my leave.
Why did I marry? This honest creature doubtless sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds.
Returning.
My lord, I would I might entreat your honour to scan this thing no further. Leave it to time. Though it be fit that Cassio have his place, for sure he fills it up with great ability, yet, if you please to hold him off a while, you shall by that perceive him and his means. Note if your lady strain his entertainment with any strong or vehement importunity. Much will be seen in that. In the meantime, let me be thought too busy in my fears, as worthy cause I have to fear I am, and hold her free, I do beseech your honour.
Fear not my government.
I once more take my leave.
Exit.
This fellow's of exceeding honesty, and knows all qualities with a learned spirit of human dealings. If I do prove her haggard, though that her jesses were my dear heartstrings, I'd whistle her off, and let her down the wind to prey at fortune. Haply for I am black, and have not those soft parts of conversation that chambers have, or for I am declined into the vale of years, yet that's not much. She's gone. I am abused, and my relief must be to loathe her. O curse of marriage, that we can call these delicate creatures ours, and not their appetites! I had rather be a toad, and live upon the vapour of a dungeon, than keep a corner in the thing I love for others' uses. Yet 'tis the plague of great ones. Prerogatived are they less than the base, 'tis destiny unshunnable like death. Even then this forked plague is fated to us, when we do quicken. Desdemona comes. If she be false, oh, then heaven mocks itself. I'll not believe it.
Re-enter Desdemona and Emilia.
How now, my dear Othello? Your dinner and the generous islanders by you invited do attend your presence.
I am to blame.
Why do you speak so faintly? Are you not well?
I have a pain upon my forehead here.
Faith, that's with watching. 'Twill away again. Let me but bind it hard. Within this hour it will be well.
Your napkin is too little.
He puts the handkerchief from him, and she drops it.
Let it alone. Come, I'll go in with you.
I am very sorry that you are not well.
Exeunt Othello and Desdemona. I am glad I have found this napkin. This was her first remembrance from the moor. My wayward husband hath 100 times wooed me to steal it. But she so loves the token, for he conjured her she should ever keep it, that she reserves it evermore about her to kiss and talk to. I'll have the work taken out and give it Iago. What he will do with it heaven knows, not I. I nothing but to please his fantasy. Re-enter Iago.
How now? What do you here alone?
Do not you chide. I have a thing for you.
A thing for me? It is a common thing.
Ha!
To have a foolish wife.
Oh, is that all? What will you give me now for that same handkerchief?
What handkerchief?
What handkerchief? Why, that the Moor first gave to Desdemona, that which so often you did bid me steal.
Hast stolen it from her?
No, faith, she let it drop by negligence, and to the advantage, I being here, took it up. Look, here it is.
A good wench, give it me.
What will you do with it, that you have been so earnest to have me filch it? Snatching it.
Why, what's that to you?
If it be not for some purpose of import, give it me again. Poor lady, she'll run mad when she shall lack it.
Be not known on't. I have use for it. Go, leave me.
Exit Emilia.
I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin, and let him find it. Trifles light as air are to the jealous confirmations strong as proofs of holy writ. This may do something. The Moor already changes with my poison. Dangerous conceits are in their natures poisons, which at the first are scarce found to distaste, but with a little act upon the blood burn like the mines of sulphur. I did say so. Oh, look where he comes. Not poppy, nor mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to that sweet sleep which thou odest yesterday.
Re-enter Othello.
False to me?
Why, how now, General? No more of that.
Avaunt, begone! Thou hast set me on the rack. I swear 'tis better to be much abused than but to know it a little.
How now, my lord?
What sense had I of her stolen hours of lust? I saw it not, thought it not, it harmed not me. I slept the next night well, was free and merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen, let him not know it, and he's not robbed at all.
I am sorry to hear this.
I had been happy if the general camp, pioneers and all, had tasted her sweet body, so I had nothing known. Oh, now, for ever farewell the tranquil mind, farewell content, farewell the plumed troop and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell, farewell the neighing steed, and the shrill trump, the spirit-stirring drum, the ear-piercing fife, the royal banner, and all quality, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. And oh, you mortal engines, whose rude throats the immortal Jove's dread clamours counterfeit, farewell! Othello's occupations gone!
Is't possible, my lord?
Villain, be sure thou prove my love a whore.
Taking him by the throat.
Be sure of it. Give me the ocular proof, or by the worth of man's eternal soul, thou hadst been better have been born a dog than answer my weight wrath.
Is't come to this?
Make me to see it, or at the least so prove it that the probation bear no hinge nor loop to hang a doubt on, or woe upon thy life.
My noble lord.
If thou dost slander her and torture me, never pray more. Abandon all remorse. On horror's head horrors accumulate. Do deeds to make heaven weep, all earth amazed. For nothing canst thou to damnation add greater than that.
Oh, grace! Oh, heaven defend me! Are you a man? Have you a soul or sense? God be with you! Take mine office! O wretched fool, that liv'st to make thine honesty a vice! O monstrous world, take note, O world! To be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for this profit, and from hence I'll love no friend, sith love breeds such offence.
Nay, stay, thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honesty's a fool and loses that it works for.
By the world, I think my wife be honest, and think she is not. I think that thou art just, and think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Her name, that was as fresh as Dian's visage, is now begrimed and black as mine own face. If there be cords, or knives, poison, or fire, or suffocating streams, I'll not endure it. Would I were satisfied!
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied?
Would! Nay, I will!
And may. But how? How satisfied, my lord? Would you, the supervisor, grossly gape on, behold her tubbed?
Death and damnation! Oh!
It were a tedious difficulty, I think, to bring them to that prospect. Damn them, then, if ever mortal eyes do see them bolster more than their own. What then? How then? What shall I say? Where's satisfaction? It is impossible you should see this. Were they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves, and pride and fools as gross as ignorance made drunk. But yet, I say, if imputation and strong circumstances, which lead directly to the door of truth, will give you satisfaction, you may have't.
Give me a living reason she's disloyal.
I do not like the office, But sith I am entered in this cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and, being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose of soul that in their sleeps will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary, let us hide our loves." And then, sir, would he gripe and wring my hand, cry, "Oh, sweet creature," and then kiss me hard, as if he plucked up kisses by the roots that grew upon my lips, then laid his leg over my thigh, and sighed and kissed, and then cried, "Cursed fate that gave thee to the Moor!"
Oh, monstrous, monstrous!
Nay, this was but his dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion. 'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream.
And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, but be wise. Yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this: have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
I know not that. But such a handkerchief, I am sure it was your wife's, did I to-day see Cassio wipe his beard with.
If it be that.
If it be that, or any that was hers, it speaks against her with the other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives! One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now do I see 'tis true. Look here, Iago, all my fond love. Thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance, from thy hollow hell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne to tyrannous hate. Swell bosom with thy fraud, for 'tis of aspic's tongues.
Yet be content.
Ah, blood, Iago, blood!
Patience, I say. Your mind perhaps may change.
Never, Iago. Like to the Pontic sea, whose icy current and compulsive course ne'er feels retiring ebb, but keeps due on to the Propontic and the Hellespont, even so my bloody thoughts, with violent pace, shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that a capable and wide revenge swallow them up. Now, by yon marble heaven, in the due reverence of a sacred vow,
Kneels.
I here engage my words.
Do not rise yet.
Kneels.
Witness, you ever burning lights above, you elements that clip us round about, witness that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit, hands, heart, to wronged Othello's service. Let him command, and to obey shall be in me remorse. What bloody business ever?
They rise.
I greet thy love not with vain thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instant put thee to it. Within these 3 days let me hear thee say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done at your request. But let her live.
damn her, lewd minx! Oh, damn her! Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant.
I am your own forever.
Exeunt. End of Act 3, Scene 3. From Othello.
Act 5, Scene 2. From Othello by William Shakespeare. Act 5, Scene 2. Cyprus. A bedchamber in the castle. Desdemona in bed asleep. A light burning. Enter Othello.
It is the cause. It is the cause, my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster.
Takes off his sword.
Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men. Put out the light, and then put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, thou cunningst pattern of excelling nature, I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. When I have plucked thy rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It must needs wither. I'll smell it on the tree.
Kissing her.
Oh, balmy breath, that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more, one more. Be thus when thou art dead, and I will kill thee and love thee after. One more, and this the last. So sweet was ne'er so fatal. I must weep, but they are cruel tears. This sorrow's heavenly, it strikes where it doth love. She wakes.
Who's there? Othello?
Ay, Desdemona.
Will you come to bed, my lord?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Ay, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime, unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight.
Alack, my lord, what may you mean by that?
Well, do it, and be brief. I will walk by. I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend, I would not kill thy soul.
Talk you of killing?
Ay, I do.
Then heaven have mercy on me.
Amen, with all my heart.
If you say so, I hope you will not kill me. And yet I fear you, for you are fatal then when your eyes roll so. Why I should fear I know not, since guiltiness I know not, but yet I feel I fear.
Think on thy sins.
They are loves I bear to you.
Ay, and for that thou diest.
That death's unnatural that kills for loving. Alas, why gnaw you so your nether lip? Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. These are portents. But yet I hope they do not point on me.
Peace, and be still.
I will so. What's the matter?
That handkerchief which I so loved and gave thee, thou gavest to Cassio.
No, by my life and soul. Send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed of perjury. Thou'rt on thy deathbed.
Ay, but not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore, confess thee freely of thy sin. For to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do groan withal. Thou art to die.
Then Lord have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have you mercy too. I never did offend you in my life, never loved Cassio, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love. I never gave him token.
By heaven, I saw my handkerchief in's hand. O perjured woman, thou dost stone my heart, and makest me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it, then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let him confess the truth.
He hath confessed.
What, my lord?
That he hath used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye.
He will not say so.
No, his mouth is stopped. Honest Iago hath ta'en order for't.
Oh, my fear interprets. What, is he dead?
Had all his hairs been lives, my great revenge had stomach for them all.
Alas, he is betrayed, and I undone.
Out, strumpet! Weep'st thou for him to my face?
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Down, strumpet!
Kill me tomorrow, let me live tonight.
Nay, if you strive,
But half an hour.
being done, there is no pause.
But while I say one prayer.
It is too late.
Smothers her. My lord, my lord, what ho? My lord, my lord?
What noise is this? Not dead, not yet quite dead. I that am cruel am yet merciful, I would not have thee linger in thy pain. So.
What ho? My lord, my lord!
Who's there?
Oh, good my lord, I would speak a word with you.
Yes, 'tis Amelia. By and by. She's dead. 'Tis like she comes to speak of Cassio's death. The noise was high. No more moving. Still as the grave. Shall she come in? Were't good? I think she stirs again. No. What's best to do? If she come in, she'll sure speak to my wife. My wife? My wife? What wife? I have no wife. Oh, insupportable! Oh, heavy hour! Methinks it should be now a huge eclipse of sun and moon, and that the affrighted globe should yawn at alteration.
I do beseech you that I may speak with you, O good my lord.
I had forgot thee. Oh, come in, Emilia. Soft. By and by. Let me the curtains draw. Where art thou? What's the matter with thee now?
Oh, my good lord, yonder's foul murder's done.
What now?
But now, my lord.
It is the very error of the moon. She comes more nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
Cassio, my lord, hath killed a young Venetian called Roderigo.
Roderigo killed? And Cassio killed?
No, Cassio is not killed.
Not Cassio killed? Then murder's out of tune, and sweet revenge grows harsh.
Oh, falsely murdered.
Alas, what cry is that?
That what?
Out and alas, that was my lady's voice. Help, help, ho, help! Oh, lady, speak again. Sweet Desdemona, oh, sweet mistress, speak.
A guiltless death, I die.
Oh, who hath done this deed?
Nobody. I myself. Farewell. Commend me to my kind lord. Oh, farewell.
Why, how should she be murdered?
Alas, who knows?
You heard her say herself it was not I.
She said so. I must needs report the truth.
She's like a liar gone to burning hell. 'Twas I that killed her.
Oh, the more angel she, and you the blacker devil.
She turned to folly, and she was a whore.
Thou dost belie her, and thou art a devil.
She was false as water.
Thou art rash as fire to say that she was false. Oh, she was heavenly true.
Cassio did top her. Ask thy husband else. Oh, I were damned beneath all depth in hell, but that I did proceed upon just grounds to this extremity. Thy husband knew it all.
My husband?
Thy husband.
That she was false to wedlock?
Ay, with Cassio. Nay, had she been true, if heaven would make me such another world of one entire and perfect chrysolite, I'd not have sold her for it.
My husband?
Ay, 'twas he that told me first. An honest man he is, and hates the slime that sticks on filthy deeds.
My husband?
What needs this iterance, woman? I say thy husband.
O mistress, villainy hath made mocks with love. My husband say that she was false?
He, woman. I say thy husband. Dost understand the word? My friend, thy husband. Honest Iago.
If he say so, may his pernicious soul rot half a grain a day. He lies to the heart. She was too fond of her most filthy bargain.
Ha!
Do thy worst. This deed of thine is no more worthy heaven than thou wast worthy her.
Peace, you were best.
Thou hast not half that power to do me harm as I have to be hurt. O gull, O dolt, as ignorant as dirt. Thou hast done a deed. I care not for thy sword. I'll make thee known, though I lost 20 lives. Help! Help, ho! Help! The Moor hath killed my mistress! Murder! Murder! End of Act 5, Scene 2, from Othello.
Act 1, Scene 2, from Richard III, by William Shakespeare. Scene 2, London, a street. Enter the corpse of King Henry VI, borne in an open coffin. Gentlemen bearing halberds to guard it, and Lady Anne as mourner.
Set down your honourable load, if honour may be shrouded in a hearse, whilst I awhile obsequiously lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Poor key-cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost, to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the selfsame hand that made these wounds. Lo, in these windows that let forth thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Oh, cursed be the hand that made these holes, cursed the heart that had the heart to do it, cursed the blood that let this blood from hence. More direful hap betide that hated wretch that makes us wretched by the death of thee, than I can wish to adders, spiders, toads, or any creeping venomed thing that lives. If ever he have a child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made more miserable by the death of him than I am made by my young lord and thee. Come now towards Chertsey with your holy load, taken from Paul's to be interred there. And still, as you are weary of this weight, rest you, while I lament King Henry's course.
The bearers take up the corpse and advance. Enter Gloucester.
Stay, you that bear the corse, and set it down.
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop devoted charitable deeds?
Villains, set down the corse, or by St. Paul, and make a corse of him that disobeys.
My lord, stand back, and let the coffin pass.
Unmannered dog, stand thou when I command. Advance thy halberd higher than my breast, or by St. Paul I'll strike thee to my foot, and spurn upon thee beggar for thy boldness.
The bearers set down the coffin.
What? Do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell! Thou hadst but power over his mortal body, his soul thou canst not have. Therefore, begone.
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
Foul devil, for God's sake, hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. O gentlemen, see, see, dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deeds inhuman and unnatural provokes this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood madest, revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drinkest, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Lady, you know no rules of charity which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain, thou knowest nor law of God nor man, no beast so fierce but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful, when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful, when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe, divine perfection of a woman, of these supposed crimes to give me leave by circumstance but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe, diffused infection of a man, of these known evils but to give me leave by circumstance to accuse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee, let me have some patient pleasure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee, thou canst make no excuse current, but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by despairing shalt thou stand excused, for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, that didst unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and devilish slave, by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
Why, then he is alive.
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchion smoking in his blood, the which thou once didst bend against her breast. But that thy brothers beat aside the point.
I was provoked by a slanderous tongue that laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, that never dreamt on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
Granted.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then, God grant me too, thou mayst be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me that hoped to send him thither, for he was better for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits, and fall something into a slower method, is not the cause of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner?
Thou wast the cause and most accursed effect.
Your beauty was the cause of that effect, your beauty, that did haunt me in my sleep to undertake the death of all the world, so I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, homicide, these nails should rend that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could not endure that beauty's wreck. You should not blemish it if I stood by, As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Black night o'ershade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, fair creature, thou art both.
I would I were, to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet,
Why, that was he.
the self-same name, but one of better nature.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad. Out of my sight, thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were, that I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspects with store of childish drops. These eyes, which never shed remorseful tear, know when my father York and Edward wept to hear the piteous moan that Rutland made, when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at him, nor when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause to sob and weep, that all the standers by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time my manly eyes did scorn an humble tear, and what these sorrows could not thence exhale, thy beauty hath made them blind with weeping. I never sued to friend nor enemy, my tongue could never learn sweet smoothing word, but now thy beauty is proposed might be, my proud heart sues, and prompts my tongue to speak.
Ugh!
Teach not thy lips such scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true breast, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry.
He lays his breast open. She offers at it with his sword.
But 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch, 'twas I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on.
She lets fall the sword.
Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word this hand, which for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love. To both their deaths shalt thou be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never was man true.
Well, well, put up your sword.
Say then, my peace is made.
That shalt thou know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look how this ring encompasseth thy finger. Even so thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine. And if thy poor devoted servant may but beg one favour at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness for ever.
What is it?
That it may please you leave these sad designs to him that hath most cause to be a mourner, and presently repair to Crosby Place, where, after I have solemnly interred at Chertsey Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears, I will with all expedient duty see you. For divers unknown reasons, I beseech you, grant me this boon.
"with all my heart, and much it joys me too, to see you are become so penitent. Tressel and Berkeley, go along with me.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already."
Exeunt Lady Anne, Tressel, and Berkeley.
So take up the course.
Towards Chertsey, noble lord?
Now to Whitefriars, there attend my coming.
Exeunt the rest, with the corpse.
Was ever woman in this humour wooed? Was ever woman in this humour won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. What! I that killed her husband and his father, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of her hatred by, having God her conscience, and these bars against me, and I no friends to back my suit withal, but the plain devil and dissembling looks, and yet to win her, all the world to nothing! Ha! Hath she forgot already that brave Prince Edward, her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and a lovelier gentleman, framed in the prodigality of nature, young, valiant, wise, and no doubt right royal, the spacious world cannot again afford. And will she yet abase her eyes on me, that cracked the golden prime of this sweet prince, and made a widow to a woeful bed, on me, whose all not equals Edward's moiety, on me that haunt and am misshapen thus? My dukedom to a beggarly denier. I do mistake my personal this while. Upon my life she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvellous proper man. Albeit charges for a looking glass, and entertain a score or two at tailors, to study fashions to adorn my body, since I am crept in favour with myself, I will maintain it with some little cost. But first I'll turn yon fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I have bought a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.
Exit. End of Act 1, Scene 2 from Richard III. Act 2, Scene 2 from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Capulet's garden. Enter Romeo.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound.
Juliet appears above at a window.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Me.
She speaks. Oh, speak, again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds, and sails upon the bosom of the air.
O Romeo, Romeo! Wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but Love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou, that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but, sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundest thou out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the furthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak to-night. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swear'st, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say, Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou think'st I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my haviour light, but trust me, gentleman, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love's passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yon blessed moon I swear, that tips with silver all these fruit-tree tops.
O swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract to-night. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauty's flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have to-night?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu.
Nurse calls within.
Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Exit.
O blessed, blessed night! I am afeard, being in night, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
Enter Juliet above.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word to-morrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon. But if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come. To cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. To-morrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
Exit.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Retiring slowly. Re-enter Juliet above.
Hist, Romeo, hist! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again! Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else I would tear the cave where Echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear.
At what o'clock to-morrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird, who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner with his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Exit.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
Exit. End of Act 2, Scene 2, from Romeo and Juliet.
Act 2, Scene 1 of The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. Act 2, Scene 1, Padua, a room in Baptista's house.
Signor Petruchio, will you go with us, or shall I send my daughter Kate to you?
I pray you do. I will attend her here.
Exeunt Baptista, Gremio, Tranio, and Hortensio.
And woo her with some spirit when she comes. Say that she rail, why then I'll tell her plain. She sings as sweetly as a nightingale. Say that she frown, I'll say she looks as clear as morning roses newly washed with dew. Say she be mute, and will not speak a word, then I'll commend her volubility, and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pack, I'll give her thanks, as though she bid me stay by her a week. If she deny to wed, I'll crave the day when I shall ask the banns, and when be married. But here she comes, and now, Petruchio, speak.
Enter Kate.
Good morrow, Kate. For that's your name, I hear.
Well have you heard, but something hard of hearing. They call me Catherine that do talk of me.
You lie in faith, for you were called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the curse. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, for dainties are all Kates, and therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate, of my consolation. Hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs, myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved! In good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at the first. You were immovable.
Why, what's a movable?
A joint stool.
Thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as bear you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well taken, and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Ay, for a turtle, as he takes a buzzard.
Come, come, you wasp. I' faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
Ay, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails. And so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate. I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
I swear I'll cup you if you strike again.
So may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman, and if no gentleman, why then no arms.
A herald, Kate, oh, put me in thy books.
What is your crest? A coxcomb?
A combless cock, so Kate will be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion, when I see a crab.
Why, here's no crab, and therefore look not sour.
There is, there is.
Then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What, you mean my face?
Well aimed of such a young one.
Now, by St. George, I am too young for you.
Yet you are withered.
'Tis with cares.
I care not.
Nay, hear you, Kate. In sooth, you scape not so.
I chafe you if I tarry. Let me go.
No, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough, and coy, and sullen, and now I find report a very liar. For thou art pleasant, gamesome, passing courteous, but slow in speech, yet sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip, as angry wenches will, nor hast thou pleasure to be cross in talk, but thou with mildness entertain'st thy wooers, with gentle conference soft and affable. Why does the world report that Kate doth limp? O slanderous world, Kate, like the hazel twig, is straight and slender, and as brown in hue as hazel nuts, and sweeter than the kernels. Oh, let me see thee walk. Thou dost not halt.
Go, fool, and whom thou keep'st command.
Did ever Dian so become a grove as Kate this chamber with her princely gait? Oh, be thou Dian, and let her be Kate, and then let Kate be chaste, and Dian sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
It is extempore from my mother wit.
A witty mother, witless else her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Marry, so I mean, sweet Catherine, in thy bed, and therefore setting all this chat aside, thus in plain terms, your father hath consented that you shall be my wife, your dowry agreed on, and will you nill you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn, for by this light whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me. For I am he am born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father. Never make denial. I must and will have Catherine to my wife.
Re-enter Baptista, Gremio, and Tranio.
Now, Signior Petruchio, how speed you with my daughter?
How but well, sir, how but well. It were impossible I should speed amiss.
Why, how now, daughter Catherine? In your dumps?
Call you me daughter? Now I promise you, you have showed a tender fatherly regard, to wish me wed to one half lunatic, a madcap ruffian and a swearing jack, that thinks with oath to face the matter out.
Father, 'tis thus. Yourself and all the world that talked of her have talked amiss of her. If she be cursed, it is for policy, for she's not froward, but modest as the dove. She is not hot, but temperate as the morn. For patience she will prove a second Grizzle, and a Roman Lucrece for her chastity. And to conclude, we have agreed so well together that upon Sunday is the wedding day.
I'll see thee hanged on Sunday first.
End of Act 2, Scene 1 of The Taming of the Shrew.
Act 1, Scene 2 from The Tempest by William Shakespeare. The island, before Prospero's cell. Enter Prospero and Miranda.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel, who had, no doubt, some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frothing souls within her.
Be collected, no more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee. Of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know did never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Lend thy hand, and pluck my magic garment from me. So, lays down his mantle. Lie there, my heart. Wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art so safely ordered, that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair, betid to any creature in the vessel which thou heardst cry, which thou saw'st sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, "Stay, not yet."
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey, and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
"Certainly, sir, I can."
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything the image tell me that hath kept with thy remembrance.
"'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance, that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?"
Thou hadst, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayst.
"But that I do not."
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan, and a prince of power.
"Sir, are not you my father?"
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father was Duke of Milan, and his only heir and princess no worse issued.
"Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed was't we did?"
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence. But blessedly holp hither.
"Oh, my heart bleeds to think o' the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you, father."
My brother and thy uncle, called Antonio. I pray thee, mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. He whom, next thyself, of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state, as at that time, through all the signories, it was the first, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts without a parallel. Those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
"Sir, most heedfully."
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, whom to advance and whom to trash for overtopping, new created the creatures that were mine, I say, or changed 'em, or else new formed 'em, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts of the state to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy which had hid my princely trunk, and sucked my verdure out on't. Thou attend'st not.
"Oh, good sir, I do."
I pray thee, mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind with that which, but by being so retired, o'erprized all popular rate, in my false brother awaked an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood in its contrary, as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit, a confidence sans bound. He being thus lauded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, like one who, having into truth, by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory, to credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
"Your tale, sir, would cure deafness."
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, he needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable. Confederates, so dry he was for sway, with the King of Naples to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom, yet unbowed, alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition, and the event. Then tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. This King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was, that he, in lieu of the premises of homage and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honours on my brother. Whereon a treacherous army levied, one midnight fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and the dead of darkness, the ministers for the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity! I, not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it over again. It is a hint that wings mine eyes to it.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business which now's upon's. Without the which this story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colours fairer painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively have quit it. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubin thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I have decked the sea with drops full salt under my burthen groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine some food we had, and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, out of his charity, who being then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steadied much. So of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man!
Now I arise, resumes his mantle. Sit still, and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can, that have more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it! And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
Know thus far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Miranda sleeps. Come away, servant, come. I am ready now. Approach my Ariel, come. Enter Ariel.
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds. To thy strong bidding task Ariel and all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I'd divide and burn in many places, on the topmast, the yards, and bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightnings, the precursors o' the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege, and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit! Who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not infect his reason?
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine, and quit the vessel. Then all afire with me, the king's son Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, Hell is empty, and all the devils are here.
Why, that's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before. And, as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them bout the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in harbour is the king's ship, in the deep nook, where once thou calledst me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still-vexed Bermoothes. There she's hid, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who with a charm joined to their suffered labour I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they have all met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing that they saw the king's ship wrecked, and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now, moody? What dost thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out? No more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without or grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bate me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost, and think'st it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost?
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Argia.
Oh, was she so? I must once a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgett'st. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold, and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Argia, thou knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is this not true?
Ay, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou report'st thyself, was then her servant, and, for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee, by help of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine, within which rift imprisoned thou didst painfully remain a dozen years, within which space she died, and left thee there, where thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill-wheels strike. Then was this island, save for the son that she did litter here, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honoured with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best know'st what torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, and penetrate the breasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmur'st, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails, till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command, and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go, make thyself like a nymph of the sea, be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape, and hither come in't. Go, hence, with diligence. Exit Ariel. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho! Slave! Caliban! Thou earth, thou! Speak! Within.
There's want enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise. When? Re-enter Ariel like a water nymph. Fine apparition. My quaint Ariel, hearken thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Exit. Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth. Enter Caliban.
As wicked Jew as e'er my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. The south west blow on ye, and blister ye all o'er.
For this be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pin thy breath up. Urchins shall, for that vast of night that they may work, all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me, and madest much of me, wouldst give water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh spring, brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so! All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you, for I have all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king, and here you stye me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honour of my child.
Oh, would had been done! Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Caliban.
Abhorred slave, which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, which thou didst learn, had that int which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hadst deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse the red plague creature for learning me your language.
Hag seed, hence. Fetch us in fuel, and be quick. Thou'rt best to answer other business. Shrug'st thou malice? If thou neglect'st, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee, I must obey. His art is of such power, it would control my damned God, set a boss and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence. Exit Caliban. Re-enter Ariel invisible, playing and singing. Ferdinand following.
Come unto these yellow sands, and then take hands, curtsied when you have, and kissed the wild waves whist, footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear.
Bow wow, watch dogs bow.
Hark, hark, I hear the strain of a strutting chanticleer, cry cock-a-diddle-doo.
Where should this music be? I' the air or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father's wreck, this music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion, with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather. But 'tis gone. No, it begins again.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones a coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. Hark, now I hear them, ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringed curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yond.
What is it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about! Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench, it eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have. Such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he is something stained with grief, that's beauty's canker, thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Most sure, the goddess on whom these airs attend, vouchsafe my prayer may know if you'll remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder, if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language! Heavens! I am the best of them that speak this speech, were I but where 'tis spoken.
How, the best? What wert thou if the King of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes, never since at ebb, beheld the king my father wrecked.
Alack for mercy!
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee, if now 'twere fit to do it. At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that ever I saw, the first that ever I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin, and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir. One word more. They are both in either's powers. But this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more, I charge thee, that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy, to win it from me, the lord on't.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him, he's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks within the acorn cradled. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Draws and is charmed from moving.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What? I say, my foot my tutor? Put thy sword up, traitor, who mak'st a show, but darest not strike, thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick, and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech you, father.
Hence, hang not on my garments.
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What! An advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou think'st there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench! To the most of men this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey! Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigour in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid! All corners else o' the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on! Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Follow me. Hark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature, sir, than he appears by speech. This is unwonted which now came from him.
Thou shalt be as free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not for him. Exeunt. End of Act 1, Scene 2, from The Tempest. Act 1, Scene 5, from Twelfth Night, by William Shakespeare. Scene 5. A room in Olivia's house. Enter Maria and Clown.
Nay, either tell me where thou hast been, or I will not open my lips so wide as a bristle may enter in way of thy excuse. My lady will hang thee for thy absence.
Let her hang me. He that is well hanged in this world needs to fear no colours.
Make that good.
He shall see none to fear.
A good Lenten answer. I can tell thee where that saying was born of. I fear no colours.
Where, good Mistress Mary?
In the wars, and that may you be bold to say in your foolery.
Well, God give them wisdom that have it, and those that are fools let them use their talents.
Yet you will be hanged for being so long absent, or to be turned away. Is not that as good as a hanging to you?
Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage, and for turning away let summer bear it out.
You are resolute, then?
Not so neither, but I am resolved on 2 points.
That if one break, the other will hold, or if both break, your gaskins fall.
Oh, apt in good faith, very apt. Well, go thy way. If Sir Toby would leave drinking, thou wert as witty a piece of Eve's flesh as any in Illyria.
Peace, you rogue. No more of that. Here comes my lady. Make your excuse wisely. You were best.
Exit. Enter Olivia and Malvolio.
Wit, an't be thy will, put me into good fooling. Those wits that think they have thee do very oft prove fools, and I that am sure I lack thee may pass for a wise man. For what says Queen Apollos? Better a witty fool than a foolish wit. God bless thee, lady.
Take the fool away.
Do you not hear, fellows? Take away the lady.
Go to. You're a dry fool. I'll no more of you. Besides, you grow dishonest.
2 faults, Madonna, that drink and good counsel will amend. For give the dry fool drink, then is the fool not dry. Bid the dishonest man mend himself. If he mend, he is no longer dishonest. If he cannot, let the butcher mend him. Anything that's mended is but patched. Virtue that transgresses is but patched with sin, and sin that amends is but patched with virtue. If that this simple syllogism will serve, so. If it will not, what remedy? As there is no true cuckold but calamity, so beauty's a flower. The lady bade take away the fool, Therefore I say again, take her away.
Sir, I bade them take away you.
Misprision in the highest degree. Lady cucullus non fecit monachum. That's as much to say, I wear not motley in my brain. Good Madonna, give me leave to prove you a fool.
Can you do it?
Dexteriously, good Madonna.
Make your proof.
I must catechize you for it, Madonna. Good my mouse of virtue, answer me.
Well, sir, for want of other idleness, I'll bide your proof.
Good Madonna, why mourn'st thou?
Good fool, for my brother's death.
I think his soul is in hell, Madonna.
I know his soul is in heaven, fool.
The more fool you, Madonna, to mourn for your brother's soul being in heaven. Take away the fool, gentlemen.
What think you of this fool, Malvolio? Doth he not mend?
Yes, and shall do, till the pangs of death shake him. Infirmity that decays the wise doth ever make the better fool.
God send you, sir, a speedy infirmity for the better increasing your folly. Sir Toby will be sworn that I am no fox, but he will not pass his word for twopence that you are no fool.
How say you to that, Malvolio?
I marvel your ladyship takes delight in such a barren rascal. I saw him put down the other day with an ordinary fool that has no more brain than a stone. Look you now, he's out of his guard already. Unless you laugh and minister occasion to him, he is gagged. I protest I take these wise men that crow so at these set kind of fools no better than the fool zanies.
Oh, you are sick of self-love, Malvolio, and taste with a distempered appetite. To be generous, guiltless, and of free disposition is to take those things for bird bolts that you deem cannon bullets. There is no slander in an allowed fool, though he do nothing but rail, nor no railing in known discreet man, though he do nothing but reprove.
Now Mercury endue thee with leasing, for thou speakest well of fools.
Re-enter Maria.
Madam, there is at the gate a young gentleman much desires to speak with you.
From Count Orsino, is it?
I know not, madam. 'Tis a fair young man, and well attended.
Who of my people hold him in delay?
Sir Toby, madam, your kinsman.
Fetch him off, I pray you. He speaks nothing but madman. Fie on him.
Exit Maria.
Go you, Malvolio. If it be a suit from the Count, I am sick, or not at home, what you will, to dismiss it.
Exit Malvolio.
Now you see, sir, how your fooling grows old, and people dislike it.
Thou hast spoke for us, Madonna, as if thy eldest son should be a fool, whose skull Jove cram with brains. For here he comes, one of thy kin as a most weak pia mater.
Enter Sir Toby Belch.
By mine honour, half drunk. What is he at the gate, cousin?
A gentleman.
A gentleman? What gentleman?
'Tis a gentleman here. Plague of these pickle herrings. How now, sot?
Good Sir Toby.
Cousin, cousin, how have you come so early by this lethargy?
Lechery? I defy lechery. There's one at the gate.
Ay, marry, what is he?
Let him be the devil any will, I care not. Give me faith, say I. Well, it's all one.
Exit.
What's a drunken man like, fool?
Like a drowned man, a fool, and a madman. One draught above heat makes him a fool, the second mads him, and a third drowns him.
Go thou and seek the coroner, and let him sit on my cause, for he's in the 3rd degree of drink, he's drowned. Go and look after him.
He is but mad yet, Madonna, and the fool shall look to the madman.
Exit Clown. Re-enter Malvolio. Madam, yonder young fellow swears he will speak with you. I told him you were sick. He takes on him to understand so much, and therefore comes to speak with you. I told him you were asleep. He seems to have a foreknowledge of that too, and therefore comes to speak with you. What is to be said to him, lady? He's fortified against any denial.
Tell him he shall not speak with me.
Has been told so, and he says he'll stand at your door like a sheriff's post, and be the supporter of a bench, but he'll speak with you.
What kind of man is he?
Why, of mankind.
What manner of man?
A very ill manner. He'll speak with you, will you or no?
Of what personage and years is he?
Not yet old enough for a man, nor young enough for a boy, as a squash is before 'tis a pease cod, or a codling when 'tis almost an apple. 'Tis with him in standing water, between boy and man. He's very well favoured, and he speaks very shrewishly. One would think his mother's milk was scarce out of him.
Let him approach. Call in my gentlewoman.
Gentlewoman, my lady calls. Exit. Re-enter Maria.
Give me my veil. Come, throw it on my face. We'll once more hear Orsino's embassy.
Enter Viola.
The honourable lady of the house, which is she?
Speak to me. I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. I pray you, tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for, besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very comfortable, even to the least sinister usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question's out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance, if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No, my profound heart, and yet by the very fangs of malice I swear I am not that I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am.
Most certain, if you are she, you do usurp yourself, for what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is from my commission. I will on with my speech in your praise, and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important in it. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I took great pains to study it, and 'tis poetical.
It is the more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to hear you. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not that time of moon with me, to make one in so skipping a dialogue.
Will you hoist sail, sir? Here lies your way.
No, good swabber, I am to hull here a little longer. Some mollification for your giant, sweet lady.
Tell me your mind.
I am a messenger.
Sure you have some hideous matter to deliver, when the courtesy of it is so fearful. Speak your office.
It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as full of peace as matter.
Yet you began rudely. What are you? What would you?
The rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret as maidenhead. To your ears, divinity; to any others, profanation.
Give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity.
Exit Maria.
Now, sir, what is your text?
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine, and much may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom? In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method, in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam, let me see your face.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was this present. Is not well done?
Unveiling.
Excellently done, if God did all.
'Tis in grain, sir, will endure wind and weather.
'Tis beauty truly blent, whose red and white Nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruellest she alive, if you will lead these graces to the grave, and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will give out diverse schedules of my beauty. It shall be inventoried, and every particle and utensil labelled to my will, as item, 2 lips indifferent red, item, 2 grey eyes with lids to them, item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see you what you are. You are too proud. But if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompensed, though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension and the shape of nature a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why, what would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contempt love, and sing them loud, even in the dead of night. Holler your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send no more, unless perchance you come to me again, to tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no fee'd post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart of flint that you shall love, and let your fervour, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
Exit.
What is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. I'll be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, actions, and spirit do give thee fivefold blazon. Not too fast, soft, soft, unless the master were the man. How now? Even so quickly may one catch the plague? Methinks I feel this youth's perfections with an invisible and subtle stealth to creep in at mine eyes. Well, let it be. What ho, Malvolio?
Re-enter Malvolio. Here, madam, at your service.
Run after that same peevish messenger, the county's man. He left this ring behind him, would I or not. Tell him I'll none of it. Desire him not to flatter with his lord, nor hold him up with hopes. I am not for him. If that youth will come this way to-morrow, I'll give him reasons for it. Hie thee, Malvolio.
Madam, I will. Exit.
I do, I know not what, and fear to find mine eye too great a flatterer for my mind. Fate, show thy force. Ourselves we do not owe. What is decreed must be, and be this so.
Exit. End of Act 1, Scene 5 from Twelfth Night. End of Favorite Scenes from Shakespeare.